We're back and we're talking about the push for green energy in this province and the real life impacts on manufacturing. Shalini, before we went to break, you were talking about competitiveness. Please finish your thought.
Absolutely. I think as a Canadian manufacturer, especially, we have our own ideas and ways of working. And what happens is we do not have a population to sustain that much growth. So you have to be able to export, and we want to be able to support those exports. Now, in order to do that, you are now dealing or working with US companies, US manufacturers, and in our case, because we make primarily East Indian snacks, a lot of our competition comes directly out of India. Now, when you look at the manufacturing playing field, and you look at the regulations that Canadian businesses, primarily in even Ontario, have to work through, these are not the same regulations that India and or the US have to deal with. So right off the bat, we are already at a disadvantage. And at the end of the day, one of the things is any, monies that are made are usually put right back into the company and in terms of investment. So it's not, being able to get efficiency gains to get a bigger profit. It is so we can invest more in our people, more in our processes, and be able to go out and do new product development. So it's a full circle that happens.
So you brought some pictures of your manufacturing process. We're going to take a look at them. Tell us what we're seeing here and how you manufacture your product.
Absolutely. So this is a picture of what we call our continuous fry line. Now, this is primarily run on natural gas. And we have 4 of these massive lines. This line will employ about 4 to 8 people, depending on the product, per shift. And it is it's a pretty significant piece of equipment that requires skilled labor. So, the manufacturing jobs that are here at our company right now are skilled labor. This is our bake line, similar to our continuous fry line, but this will generate biscuits and cookies for us. Also, primary source is natural gas. So, we are not a high energy user, but we are high enough that, and it's a very big expense for us currently in able to operate here.
Yeah, and the push to freeze out natural gas is very concerning to a lot of manufacturers. We're going to get back to that in a minute. Thomas, you wrote to the coalition a report on energy policy in this province, and you entitled it, "These Are Dark Times." And I'd like to discuss what was in that report. You talked about the political leaders pushing climate emergency and net zero policies. And we are told that from our politicians that there's a need for energy transition to a future where everything will be motorized vehicles, everything will be electric, all homes will have electric vehicle chargers, electric space heating and water heating. Businesses and manufacturers will only be able to use electricity for energy. But you said in that report that the current Ontario electricity distribution grid is not designed to handle this, and that we'll have to modernize it. And can you tell us what this will entail and what it would cost both manufacturers and Ontario citizens?
Yes, I can. So currently in Ontario, natural gas provides more than twice the amount of energy that is provided by electricity. At peak, natural gas provides 5 times the amount of energy that is provided by electricity. And then petroleum products, mainly gasoline and diesel, provide 99% of the energy used in transportation. Net zero and just transition plans call for replacement of all of this energy now delivered by natural gas and petroleum products using gas distribution mains and oil and gas pipelines to be delivered by the electricity distribution grid. And that's wires that you see on the streets hanging on poles. This increase in capacity will need to be built and paid for, and it will cost a lot of money, which will lead to increased electricity distribution rates. Home charging of electric vehicles also poses problems, while slow chargers, which these are 110 volts, pose no problems at all. As few as 5 homes on a typical street using fast chargers at the same time, these are the 240 volt chargers, can overload the circuit on a, let's say, Toronto street. To accommodate widespread home charging of electric vehicles, the distribution grid will need to be rebuilt. Then there is the problem of rooftop solar and home batteries, which can cause voltage fluctuations as they connect and disconnect from the grid. To accommodate them, the distributors will need to install voltage control equipment and new circuit breakers, and a lot of other equipment as well. All of this will result in higher distribution rates, which will be paid for by manufacturers and businesses.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you there because you had some startling stats in that report, but we have to go to break. You're watching Canadian Innovators.